Good evening, and welcome along to another big show here on NVTV. Coming up on the show this week, we'll be talking about this year's Eurovision Song Contest with Eurovision expert Robin Scott. We'll be finding out what's coming soon to Portrush. Brian Moore will be joining me in the studio to tell us all about that. And we'll have some live music from singer-songwriter Barry Fleming. But starting things off, some more live music and a Nashville-based singer-songwriter who's just released a new album called Waiting for You. So ladies and gentlemen, here is JP Ruggieri.
Her left was right and her up was down. She was feeling stuck in this one-road town. So grabbing the thorns that were on the rose, she caught a one-way ticket to Mexico. There's nothing you can do to make it right. She's got a Saturday mind on a Sunday night. There's nothing you can do to make her stay. You know weeds always grow and flowers go away. They go away. You better quit all that living in the year before. It's too hard to tell what begins a war. Maybe you both got in too soon. You were digging for gold with a plastic spoon. There's nothing you can do to make it right. Every smoking wick was once burning bright. There's nothing you can do to make her stay. You know weeds always grow and flowers grow away. They go away.
So we'll have some more live music from JP Ruggieri a little bit later on in the show. But right now we're going to talk about the Eurovision Song Contest. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's nearly that time of year again. This year it's been held in Tel Aviv, and I know one man who's going to be there. It's Robin Scott. How are you, sir?
I'm looking forward to the majesty and the ridiculousness.
We'll get straight into it. There's no point talking about, do the UK have a chance? Do Ireland have a chance? They don't. Do we know already who the favourites are?
Sometimes, as in previous years, you can tell from the national selections the fact that the songs that are, have got great power and people will remember. But sometimes you have a video which is very good, like for the Netherlands, which is set underwater, and you think, how is that going to come on the stage?
Yes, exactly.
So it's an interesting conundrum, is the fact of making a performance. It's a visual experience as well as what you hear.
In the last few years as well, Australia have ended up in the Eurovision for some bizarre reason as well. Are they back this year?
They were invited, first of all. I think they had a singer called Jessica Mauboy, and she was invited to be part of the interval act a few years ago. And then they were given this pass into it because it's nothing to do with being in Europe.
Yeah.
That may sound strange, but it's to do with being part of the European Broadcasting Union, which runs it.
Of course.
And they're very enthusiastic. I mean, Terry Wogan, for many, many years, did the commentary, and they now send their own commentating team and have big audiences to watch it at about the early hours of the morning.
Now tell us about Ireland, because of course over the years they've had many great songs, from the Johnny Logan classics to Niamh Kavanagh to Paul Harrington and Charlie McGettigan. But who's going to do it for Ireland this year? Sarah
McTiernan was almost, it feels like a last choice, because she was invited to do an audition just weeks before the deadline. She's 26, so that's why she's singing a song called 22.
Right.
The video was shot
quickly.
Very, very quickly. Ireland's got real pressure because Ryan, last year, he got through to the final. And Ireland's sort of fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
But people still expect that they're going to do. In fact, Sweden are just one behind them now in taking an equal place in having the most number of wins. It's a lovely song. It's a pleasant song. And it might qualify for the final. Now,
when you heard that the final was going to be in Tel Aviv this year, did you think, oh no, this is going to be a long old trek?
Well, I first of all looked up the statistics, and it's one of the 10th most expensive cities in the world. It's in a smaller venue, and the government wanted it to be held in Jerusalem. And when the organiser said, no, we'll decide where it is, they didn't really invest any money into it. So the tickets are ultra expensive.
Right, yeah.
But I am going to be there because the things you do for your passion.
So if you had to choose one song over the years as your favourite Eurovision song of all time, what would it be?
It's not even a winner. It's from 1987, which is the year that Johnny Logan won for the second time.
Yeah.
And it's from Umberto Tozzi and Raf, and it's called Gente di Mare. It's a beautiful ballad.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be a winner, because the winners are not always the most successful songs, like Congratulations didn't win.
Exactly, yes, yeah. So where did your love for Eurovision first start then? How did it all begin?
Okay, my first memory is my parents having a single. I was 1959, I was 5 years old, and it was the UK entry. I mean, I remember various little bits and pieces sort of slowly filtering into the system until I was away in school in 1970 on a trip to Austria, and I remember trying to find a radio station that was broadcasting the contest because I couldn't see it. So that sort of, it had got inside my head.
Wow. Talk us through some of your highlights over the years. What have they been?
Well, highlights in the contest, or highlights of what's happened to me?
Highlights of what's happened to you when you've been out there.
Okay.
I think you've had some pretty scary moments as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I was doing some work for a website when we went to Baku in Azerbaijan. There have been some political issues, and our website was hacked. And the message went up saying basically, the people who are working for this website need to be very careful when they're going around Baku, because their lives may be at risk.
Wow.
You don't think about it twice, of course.
No, exactly.
There are times when I've been on other TV programs, like on Norwegian TV, when I was in an audience of 7,000 people and interviewed. And I now realise what TV is like. You have a spotlight on you, you ask questions, and you don't even remember afterwards what happened.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've met some lovely people. I've met major artists, as I did again this year, because before the contest, there are little pre-parties that take place. Well, little isn't the word. And I was in London at the London Eurovision party, and I get the chance to talk to the people who are quite significant stars in their own right. And you just try not to be like awestruck,
yes, of course,
or overcome by the situation. I've met some wonderful artists that have been really quirky. We'll go back to Iceland, and they've had artists that are almost caricatures. I'm a big fan of Iceland, as you would find out.
Yes, okay, right. Let's take you back to the year that the UK won last, Katrina and the Waves with Love Shine a Light. Was that a great year?
Yes, I'm sitting in the audience. There was one of the previous singers, Muriel Day, who from Ireland. She was sitting in the seats in front of us. I think Labour just got into power. It was a happy time for some of my friends who had one had a birthday, and then the UK won by a landslide.
Yeah, it was a big surprise, but it was such a great song, wasn't it? For
an American singer singing for the UK, as tends to happen for other countries as well. That was really it. I mean, it was looking forward to taking it home, to going to Birmingham for Mr. Eurovision, Terry Wogan, getting the chance to host the contest. But Ireland have done such good jobs over the years.
They have. Let's talk Linda Martin, for example. She had the big win with Why Me, a Johnny Logan song. But of course, that wasn't the first time she was in Eurovision, was it?
Yeah, 1984, held in Luxembourg with a a comair, I think you call him if it's a lady, called Desiree Norsebush, and she talked in 3 languages. It continued. She went from one to the next to the next. Very unusual situation. Say Terminal 3 was the song, and that was her first major international performance.
And then, of course, when you talk Ireland, you have to mention Johnny Logan, because technically he is a 3 times winner, isn't he?
Many don't realise that, because apart from the performances that he did and won with, and Shea Healy wrote the first song, and he was involved in the second song, and Linda Martin, Why Me, held in Sweden.
Yes, yeah.
And of course he did come on at the end and sang as part of the chorus.
And of course Johnny wasn't born in Ireland either.
Yes, an
Born
Australian.
in Australia, exactly.
Sean Sherrod.
That's it, exactly. You're good.
Well, no, the trouble is, these days there are so many entries. There's 41 this year. I don't pretend to understand what it is. When there were 25, I could just about cope with it.
Yes, yeah. One of my greatest memories has to be, and it's still one of my favourite Eurovision songs today, was Niamh Kavanagh's In Your Eyes. And one of my greatest memories, a couple of years back, she was playing a gig in Lisburn with her band, The Illegals, and it just happened to fall on Eurovision night. And we did the first half of the show, and then she wouldn't go back on until we'd watch the results backstage of Eurovision.
She is such a lovely lady. She still has a passion, and she's thankful for what Eurovision did for her. And that was an absolutely amazing song.
I want to ask you about this one, because the Barbara Dex Award, this sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was it came to being because Barbara sang in the most unflattering dress that you could ever see. Right. It was just like she wasn't even wearing it really, it was just draped over her. And since then, every year, they look at the performers that it's not just the best singer or the best song, but it's going the other way as well. It's the worst singer, and in this case, the worst dressed performer.
Wow, okay. Well, we look forward to finding out who's going to win that this year. You're off to Tel Aviv. Tell us when the final is.
Final is on the 18th.
Okay.
2 semi-finals and then a final, and I'll be buzzing by then.
Great stuff. Robin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you too.
And later on in the show, we'll be catching up with Niamh Kavanagh as well to find out about some of her Eurovision memories too. Thank you. But it's time now for some more live music, and singer-songwriter Barry Fleming joins us now live in the studio.
Know if you can hear me, don't know if you can see me, but I'm needing you just to take away feelings that are holding me against my will. Could always understand me, never tried to underhand me like so many did, just to have a view, something simple to believe, like a memory, just a memory. Now when I look for you, when I call to you, those words just carry through into the yonder like they always do. I just can't get it right. Try as hard as I might, you won't be here tonight. You won't be here tonight. I was gonna wait till later, put some thoughts down onto paper. Always said I would, just to let you know everything I couldn't say yesterday. I'll go on with what I'm doing,
train that isn't moving or going anywhere. You were the fire in me, the power to be what I could be. When you were next to me, you were next to me. Now when I look for you, when I call to you, those words just carry through into the yonder like they always do. I just can't get it right. Try as hard as I might, you won't be here tonight. You won't be here tonight. You were my guiding light. Wish you were here tonight.
So that's a song called Guiding Light from singer-songwriter Barry Fleming, who joins me now in the studio. Barry, how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you for having me.
The first time that I heard your music was on Jerry Anderson's show. He was a big supporter, wasn't he, of your work?
Huge supporter. Unbelievable. I think 3 or 4 of the tracks each day were being played on the show. Emails coming in, again, left, right and centre. Radio Ulster, I believe, put a post out for me to actually contact them. Who is this guy? From nothing to that clarinet as it's known. You know, we saw Jarlath on the piano there again. That was the original clarinet player.
Wow.
So it's just a strange situation. It's like life, Robin.
So tell us about you, Barry. How did you start in the whole singer-songwriter business then?
I started, bought my first keyboard when I was 12. Was gigging by 14, and when I came to sort of mid-30s, after doing it 16, 17 years, I thought it's time to get serious. So I went back to school, college again, and I became a psychotherapist.
Right.
I graduated in 09, and was paid off 3 times, 3 closures, grant failures and everything else. Ended up back in music again. So I thought, if this is going to be music, let's make it really serious. So really homed in on the songwriting, and Household Honey was written and recorded in an hour.
Right, yeah.
So the CD was there with a little multi-tracker. The song was recorded in the kitchen initially, the demo. It then went into a drawer for 6-7 months until people were saying, Barry, could you please get this out of here? Because the clarinet solo just does something to people. Sent it to good old Mr. Anderson, and 2 days later, that was it. Songwriting, I think I was trying to be a songwriter, but didn't know how to be.
Right, yeah.
I was trying to be too much, and without really, number one, having any serious equipment to use, but just was writing these 10, 12-minute songs with probably no real structure to them. Mm-hmm. And I'd written a few songs before the big breaker, as I say. And they were okay. I mean, it's more of a personal satisfaction thing, Robin. Very cathartic, very therapeutic, mm-hmm. As a lot of songwriters will tell you. And Household broke, and suddenly, that's a nice clarinet solo, that's a nice clarinet, quirky wee song. And I thought, okay. Guiding Light then had to come in to really hit home.
Yes,
and it was once Guiding Light came in, people thought, this guy can maybe write a song or two. It was sent to Charlie Lansbury.
Right.
I actually was talking to Charlie about it a few years ago, who actually remembered my name.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thanks very much. You know, I'm very shy, so not shy, but I'm probably laid back or very hard to push myself.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I'm currently building up the studio at home to get more stuff out and going and try and polish that up. But it's called the dark art because, I mean, the mixing and mastering and the whole recording process there's no right or wrong. It's just if it sounds good, once again, if you're right from the heart, and if you can put that to the music, hopefully something's going to work with somebody. If you can sort of get one person, I think that's pretty good.
I'm holding this CD in my hand, which is called Afterlife. This is another project you've been working on.
Now, this is a recording duo, myself and Bernie from Cushendall. And I heard Bernie, met her through my sister, about maybe 2 years ago, year and a half ago. And she's such an ethereal voice that matched my ambient type of songwriting. We had to work together. It was simple as that. And we got together just to see how it would go. And vibe is the result.
And again, it's been very well received as well, hasn't it?
Been very well received, yes. There's the hard copies that's download. There's a couple of videos we have on YouTube. Her voice is just immense. It's like an Enya, Eurythmics song was crossover type thing. I always let the people decide.
Yeah.
You know, if I can possibly do that.
So Barry, what's the rest of the year got in store for you now? You hope to get an album out later on in the year?
It'll be probably a single release first. I want to bring Better out. But yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit, Robin. I'm really working on the studio. Hopefully we're doing a lot more work with Jarlath in the future. Perhaps a band together and focusing in on something very, very different.
Well, you mentioned Better. That's the song you're going to perform for us now. Tell us the story behind this one. Better
was written maybe 6-7 years ago. Totally wrong. The music was wrong. I was still very experimental then, and it was like a rock song gone wrong. It was quite an angry song. It's not a political song. It's a song of hope. The way of the world at the moment, I think it's very, very relevant. Better will be available also, probably as a single release, and then hopefully we'll work towards an album then. So if people want more information on you, where can they find that? Find it at barryflemingmusic.com or get me through my email, info@barryfleming.co.uk. Barry, thank you for joining us on the show this week. Thank you for having me. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, here's Barry Fleming performing live the next single. This is called Better.
In a world of mass confusion, where does the young heart go? Does this young heart know? A smoke and mirror delusion, part of a traveling show. Where do the people go? The whole world's just a stage, assembled for an age. They should know better. Stand around the fire, sing the songs we know, songs in us that grow. Well, deep within the shadows, there's the eyes that stare. Those eyes are everywhere. We've seen it all before, now they're back for more. It just gets better. I can't change what you believe, threads of time you used to weave to make things better. But take a look at what's being done, fallen empire we've become in the name of better. One side to the other, it's where the stories find their once upon a time. And I just can't remember place and time whenever I could just let it go. Have the right to pick and choose, destroy it with the words we use, and think it's better. World of mass confusion, where does the young heart go? What
does this young heart know? No, I can't change the past. History falls from within my grasp. In search of better. And if the whole world's just a stage, assembled for an age, let's make it better. Let's make it better.
Right, there's lots of big events coming to Portrush over the next few months, including the 148th Open. One man who's going to tell us all about that event and lots more is Brian Moore, who joins me now in the studio. Brian, how are you, sir?
Nice to see you, Robin.
Good to see you. Now, it seems Portrush, again, has been very busy in the past year. There was something like 1 million visitors up to the Giant's Causeway this year, wasn't there?
Absolutely. The place has gone crazy. You know, if you only have to sit in Bushmills at the minute, and it's tour bus going between the Giant's Causeway and the old Bushmills distillery. It's incredible.
And you know, I really must jump on one of those tour buses because I'm probably the only person who's never walked across the rope bridge.
Really?
Yeah, never done it.
Oh my goodness. Well, please let me know when you're going to be there, and I shall be there with a recording device to record the screams and the camera.
We mentioned the golf there, so the Open is coming very soon, and of course thousands upon thousands of people are going to descend on the area, aren't they?
Well, they put extra tickets on sale last week there, and it crashed the system. It's never sold out as quickly. The RNA, who organised the whole thing, I mean, they'd been in the area for months. I heard something that like 2,000 containers will arrive, and they're already setting up. I mean, this is what, April? They're already setting up like a small town there to cater for them. It's absolutely incredible. I don't think Northern Ireland has any idea what's about to hit it, in truth.
Yeah. So, Brian, and I believe you're doing lots of entertainment around the Open as well.
Well, in truth, it's the Causeway Coast and Glennsborough Council have put on a magnificent programme. At this stage, it would be improper for me to release the names. They'll do that shortly. But there is something like 60 acts going to be in the various pubs and clubs and restaurants in the early part of the evening. And then they've got showcase acts on a place called Kerr Street Green. That's the green that overlooks the bay where the raft race and so forth take place. It's a great amphitheatre. So they've got a big stage coming in there. They've got acts coming in there. My role will be to act as compere on several of the days. I think I'm there 4 out of the 6 days. It really is going to act as a kickstart for the whole of the tourist business. It's already been gaining year on year up in that area, but this event I think is going to be an absolute springboard for it.
And of course things are getting underway soon with the Northwest 200. What can you tell us about this year's event?
Well, my role in the Northwest 200 is to provide music, to organise music, be it bands or play tunes or whatever, on the 6 nights in the hospitality marquee, or the entertainment marquee as we like to call it, because people drive past the marquee and they think, oh, that's just for the bikers, but it's not. It's open to the public every night, and it's everything from chat shows on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We've got Jonathan Ray on the Wednesday night, world champion and so forth. It's incredible. On the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, it's more music based, including the official after party on the Saturday night with a Belfast band called the Moonshines. You maybe know of them.
Yeah.
On the other nights, on the Thursday night, which is a practice during the day and racing at night, and straight after that we have Justin McGurk and the Boogeymen. And earlier in the week we've got the Miss Northwest 200 contest, and Wayne and the All-Stars, Wayne Rogers, the very likeable Wayne Rogers and the All-Stars will be playing at that there. So it's 6 nights, and say it's open to the public every night, and it's packed every night as well. It's a great event.
And of course once the Northwest finishes, it seems to never stop then, because towards the end of May you've got the raft race as well, haven't you?
Well, it's the very next weekend actually, which is the last weekend of May, as you say, Robin, and that's the Portrush raft race, and I'm acting as compere this year. It's an addition to the calendar for me this year, if you like, as well as the golf. But the Portrush raft race, we're hoping, is going to be bigger and better than ever before. Sponsored by Northern Ireland's most successful restaurant complex, the Ramore. and it covers Saturday the 25th of May and Sunday the 26th of May. You can enter a raft right up to the last minute actually, but of course they would prefer you to enter as soon as possible, and to do that you just simply go to portrushraftrace.com.
Okay, now last year I was disappointed that I missed Truck Fest. I believe that's coming back.
Bigger and better. This is the 5th year, and that's an event that astounds me, because the first year I did it, we were expecting 60 or 70 trucks, and there were over 400 last year. So dear knows what is going to land there this year. But not only that, they've expanded it into a 2-day event, because the trucks will come in, a lot of trucks will come in on the Saturday night. And we've got music with an act you know well, Robin Dea Matrona.
Yes, of course.
And also an act called The Simple Truth,
yes,
who are brilliant. So they're going to be on the Saturday night, and then all day Sunday is the Truck Fest proper. It runs from 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we've got Lee Matthews in the afternoon as the headliner, plus some support acts. And then at 4 o'clock on the button, the trucks all leave the Northwest 200 paddock where it's held, and they do a circuit of the Northwest 200. So there are going to be so many trucks this year that I would say the first truck out of the paddock is going to meet the last truck coming out on the circuit, if you know what I mean. They're going to be bumper to bumper the whole way around the circuit, I think.
Tell us about the Pirates of Portrush.
That's in late June. I think it's the last weekend in June, beginning of July. It's always held, and it's an event geared to bring people into the resort just at the beginning of the summer, so to speak. We have this show on the Saturday afternoon where the pirates get up to all sorts of dastardly deeds, which is very hard to say on a television program. And it's all scripted. And it's a great laugh, and they capture people and take them around the town, and then of course the pirates, the good pirates win the day and make the bad pirates walk the plank and so forth. It's great fun, and it has grown year on year. And then the next day they have a heritage fair as well, which is getting bigger and bigger every year as well.
So people are heading up to Port Stewart, they can still catch you in the Anchor, can't they?
Every Friday night, and for the next few Fridays, we're giving away tickets to see Nile Rodgers and Chic in concert. And that's the summer Fridays, it's all about the summer up there, and it's great fun. A Friday night in there is excellent.
Brilliant. I keep promising I will get up sometime soon.
Now, stop threatening me, Robin.
Brian, thank you for joining us, and have a
Pleasure,
great
Robin.
summer in Portrush.
Thank you.
And it's time now for our What's On guide, where we take a look and see what's happening throughout Belfast and beyond over the next week or so. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. The dancehall days are making a return to the Grand Opera House on Saturday, the 11th of May, with the legendary Miami Show Band. So enjoy a night to reminisce about those famous dancehall days, and also enjoy a 3-course dinner while listening to the greatest hits of the Miami Show Band. Keep Telling Me Lies runs at the MAC here in Belfast right through until the 12th of May, and this is the story of 2 Belfast women as they reminisce about the lives they used to lead. Set against the backdrop of the crumbling Floral Hall and driven by the music of the show bands, they recall the fateful night they met their future husbands. Set in the stifling heat of the New Orleans Latin Quarter, A Streetcar Named Desire follows wilting southern beauty Blanche Dubois as she attempts to escape her former life and past trauma. And you can catch this Tennessee Williams classic at the Lyric Theatre until the 8th of June. The 20th Cathedral Quarter Arts Festival comes to an end this coming Sunday, the 12th of May, with the living legend that is Roy Walker. And from the comedians to Catchphrase, and most recently, the Real Marigold Hotel and Celebrity Come Dine With Me, don't miss one of the finest Irish comedians at the Black Box on the 12th of May. And staying with the Cathedral Quarter Arts Festival, and there's a Horselips convention happening. Johnny, Barry and Jim from Horselips and the legendary blues rockers Paddy Goodwin and the Holy Ghosts play the festival marquee on Sunday the 12th of May. And if you want to catch a movie in cinemas this weekend, why not try the new one starring Charlize Theron? It's called Long Shot. And when Fred Flarsky reunites with his first crush, one of the most influential women in the world, Charlotte Field, he charms her. And as she prepares to make a run for the presidency, Charlotte hires Fred as her speechwriter, and sparks fly. Have a look at this clip.
Is the Secretary of State looking at us?
I kind of know her.
It's like kind of knowing a mermaid. Do you tell people that?
She probably doesn't remember who I am.
Secretary of Field would like to speak with you.
With me?
I can't shake this feeling that we know each other.
We do.
We do?
Picture me, I guess, maybe like 20 years younger, but like this.
Flarsky?
Yeah!
What are you doing these days?
I'm a journalist.
You're a great writer, but sometimes you're a little too much.
I don't think I am too much. I actually think I'm the perfect right portion.
It's really nice to see you again.
Whoa! Yay!
So let's talk Eurovision once again, and of course Niamh Kavanagh was the winner for Ireland back in the year 1993, and last year Niamh was on the big show and she tells us all about her memories of that night at Eurovision. I remember your big night, 1993,
Yeah.
Mill Street in Cork. Linda Martin had won the year before.
That's right.
With Why Me. Then you came along, and I remember watching it that night, and everybody just knew that Ireland were going to do it. So what's your memories of Eurovision night? Is it all a blur?
I've wonderful memories of it, actually, funnily enough. I was very calm most of the night, you know, except the last few votes. The last few votes was a bit manic, but I remember just before I went on stage, the way you worked, you know, you kind of came around to the side of the stage and there was all the public up here, sitting up here. And so basically they were all up there and passing down notes for me to sign because they could. I was right there.
Yeah.
So I did that and I was chittering away. And then I think Sweden were on before me. So I was watching them dancing to Eloise was the name of the song. I remember, because you always know the song that's on before you.
Yes, yeah.
And I was dancing away to that. And then the postcard comes up and the place went mental.
Yeah.
So I went on and I did the song and I was very relaxed and everybody was remarking on how amazingly poised I was and so elegant and so in control of everything. And then as the song finished, rapturous applause, relief for me because I'd actually hit the notes that I was worried about, walked off the side of the stage and fell in a light box. You don't see that obviously, but
right,
you know,
yeah.
that's, you know, because I wasn't quite watching where I was going, you know, so all the poise was out the door then. But, you know, the whole night felt like that. It was just really dreamlike. And so I was just pleased I'd achieved what I meant to do, which was basically to sing well. And I was chuffed, you know, it was such a great night. And then we got to the voting and they were giving us champagne and everything. I wasn't really drinking it, of course. And but my backing singers clearly were. If you watch the remake, you see there's all sorts of choreography going on in the background that I didn't know about. But and then we did the voting, and the voting was exciting. It was kind of calm in the middle because we were doing well, but not necessarily in the contention. And then, of course, came probably one of the most exciting votes ever because it was down to the very last 12.
Yeah.
Myself and the UK.
Which was Sonia that year, wasn't it?
Sonia, bless her. Yes, another redhead. Yes, two of us there.
So was there a rivalry backstage?
Not really,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, to be fair, you know, I don't know if you've ever really gone to Eurovision, Robin, but all the delegates, we spend a lot of time in the same space together, and on the run up to it, you do, you know, events and stuff, and you meet everybody, and the next thing you know, you're dancing in a Greek style, you know, singing Opa, or whatever it is you're doing, you know, and you get to know your fellow performers really well, and so there's a kind of a camaraderie, you're all in there to do the same thing. Now, funnily enough, UK didn't really mix so much that year, but I think there was a lot for Sonia to do on that. You know,
she was being looked after by Simon Cowell at the time, wasn't she?
The lovely Simon Cowell, yeah, Simon. But this before he was Simon Cowell. Yes, Simon was with her, and he was with Arista Records, you know, BMG umbrella. Anyway, they were there, and we were down to the last 12. And really, at that point, I didn't care who won. It was, you know, because quite frankly, it was very stressful. And then we won, which was phenomenal. And I didn't know whether I had half my costume still on by the time people were finished dragging out of me and my makeup or anything. I just had to go back out on stage. They don't tell you what to do, walk the wrong way, went to the orchestra, completely missed the award given, sang the song at the end with my dancing backing singers behind me to Ole Ole. The crowd were loving it, you know, and it was an amazing experience, you know. And weirdly, when I went back in 2010, even though we didn't win, it felt the same because your job is still the same in those 3 minutes, is to sing the song the best you can and to really own those 3 minutes. And I'm as proud of the second one as I am the first, because even though I say to people all the time, I've been to 2 Eurovisions, I've won one, I didn't win the other. But to me, they're the same.
Yes.
Just longer the second time.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for on the show this week. A big thank you to all my guests. And to play us out, we're going to have another live track from JP Ruggieri. See you next week.
Don't kick and scream for me, baby. Kicking and screaming ain't right. Sometimes you sound like a dying cat. I'm sure your mother taught you better than that. Don't kick and scream for me, baby. You know it just ain't right. And besides, I like your legs just the way that they are. You start to kicking and the bruising, the scar. That's why, my darling, I'm begging you, please. Don't kick and scream. Don't kick and scream. Don't kick and scream.